Assalamu alaikum, Musa al khair, good afternoon. It's a great honor, privilege and pleasure to be here and to have the time to speak to you and sit in the panel. I won't show you any pictures of Dhofar and Salalah, unfortunately, although I was there last weekend and I can tell you it's really, really beautiful, subtropical, unbelievable, and that in Oman. Anyway, I'm here to talk about SOHAR Port Freezone and its role in energy transition. First of all, maybe a bit of background about SOHAR Port Freezone and who we are. We're a young port. Operation started in 2004. So we will celebrate our 20th birthday next year. I wish I could say that about myself, but that's some time ago. We're a 50-50 joint venture between Asyad Group of Oman and Port of Rotterdam of the Netherlands. We're an industrial complex and a logistics hub, and we're the gateway to Oman. Let's say 70% of all imports and exports into and from Oman go via our port. And that's a number that is growing. So just a quick overview of port and free zone, very close to one another, connected through a bonded corridor. And it's really one integrated port and free zone complex under one management, on one commercial team. So it's the synergies that you get between a port and free zone that really come to flourish in SOHAR. We work according to the landlord model, that is that the SOHAR Port and Free Zone, we build the port, we build the infrastructure, we build the utilities, but then we lease out land to operators like Hutchison, Advario, Steinweg, and many others. We're well connected over sea, of course, but also over land to the Emirates, of course. But also we have the direct road connection to Riyadh, and soon, inshallah, we will have the rail connection to Abu Dhabi, which should be very profitable for both SOHAR and the Emirati ports. Just a few facts and figures to share with you. The port is 2,000 hectares. We're now developing 220 hectares additional with new customers. Once that is done, then we are basically full, but we are discussing further expansion of the port with 800 hectares with the government as we speak. The free zone is 4,500 hectares, of which the first phase, 500 hectares, is basically full, and we're developing now phase 2. Last year, we handled 77 million tons, a record year in throughput, 11% growth, and so far, year to date, we see more modest, but still growth, 2.5%. And the free trade value from the free zone amounts to $3 billion per year. What is climate change doing to us? Well, of course, changing weather conditions. SOHAR is basically a very calm port, calm waters, almost no swell, no wind. So every time of the year you can come in with a vessel, no issues. But we're more susceptible now to cyclones. Once every 3 years, it could happen. I'm not saying it does happen, but it could happen. And of course also rising water levels, higher water levels that we have to face, which has an impact on infrastructure. It needs to be higher quays, stronger quays, higher shore protection, and stronger shore protection. It is a fact that we have to deal with. So what are we doing to climate that it is changing? What are we doing as SOHAR in that respect? Well, as I said, we are a logistic hub, but we're also an industrial complex. So the port has power plants, refineries, steel mills, plastic factory, ammonia plant, methanol plant. So we play a pivotal role in the economy of Oman. But at the same time, we're using 30% of the natural gas produced in Oman, and thereby creating 25% of Oman's total CO2 emissions. So if Oman wants to be net zero, then SOHAR needs to be net zero in 2050. So what is our plan? What are we going to do about this? Our aim is to become net zero, of course, and to green the port, as we say. So we created a roadmap, and the first step is, of course, efficiency. So better processes, clustering of companies, the one's waste is the other one's feedstock. better and more transparent information exchange. Digitalization plays a big role in energy transition, in becoming more efficient and reducing the waste that we produce. Renewables, no doubt about it, synthetic fuels, carbon capture usage and storage, and hydrogen. So the port is, you can say, relatively big, but we are a landlord, and the landlord is small. We're a small company in itself, so as a company, we don't emit that much. At the same time, we play an important role in the port and the free zone to make sure that everybody grows to net zero and that everybody is producing and manufacturing in a green, sustainable way. So we have to give, as a port authority, we give the example, we walk the talk. We are coordinating, we are accommodating, we are stimulating between tenants, with tenants, develop new solutions, and making sure that, and making clear that we are part of the solution. And there's not one solution, and it has been said before, and there's not one big bang, so it's all small steps that you have to take, you have to grow, you have to learn, and that is what we're doing as we speak. So it's all kinds of projects that have been set up, whether it is recycling projects, waste collection, biofuels for tugs, CCUS projects, solar parks. That is what we're doing at this moment, what is already happening. Okay, there we go. Then if you look at shipping, of course we have a role to play as well. Already for some years, I mean, in the former panel, it was there was a talk about, do we penalize, do we incentivize? Already for years as a port, we have the so-called environmental shipping index and the green awards, which means that if you meet certain criteria and you add up certain points, then you are able to get a reduction on the port use. I mean, it's not the biggest money that you can earn, but it's to stimulate shipping to be green and to become greener. We are, as we speak, developing together with, or actually Total and OQ are developing liquefaction plants for a liquefaction plant in our port that should deliver LNG as bunkering fuel. And hopefully within the next 6 months, the final investment decision will be taken. We will supply our tugs with biofuels, and that should still be done this year. We're investigating shore power, not the most easy project there is, but it is important that the vessels can switch off and use electricity from the shore. And we want to build up our bunkering position. So we are already at fossil fuels, then via LNG, biofuels, then ultimately to green methanol and green ammonia. And of course, again, digitalization plays a huge role in this. More efficient, more effective port calls, making sure that we are in connection with vessels already a long time before they come to SOHAR, and that we can say, okay, slow down, because you don't need to speed up, because if you slow down, then when you come, then the berth is available, and you can just berth your vessel. Eliminate waste from the system. Next to the shipping, we also want to be, well, we already are, as you could see. I mean, we play an important role in Oman's economy for producing goods, creating value. And of course, we want to become the green manufacturing hub of Oman. So making sure that green products are built, and actually that green products made in Oman are sold to the world from our port and free zone. The challenge is too big for an individual company. Even the big companies, I mean, they need others, because, again, the challenge is big, it's all new, it's not proven. Where do you go? Which decision do you take? What kind of risks are involved? How do you mitigate the risk? How do you get to a good business case? So what we have done in the port with all the tenants, we have formed the SOHAR Net Zero Alliance, in which we come together, we share information, we share ideas, we share best practices, and we share communication to learn and to develop and to make steps forward together. And the same we are willing to do and wanting to do with everybody else. So here's an invitation to all professional partners here in this room that if you are willing and your aim is to create a better and more sustainable future, we are your partner. Thank you very much.